Asterisk asterisk, passion fuels purpose asterisk asterisk. In the teachings of Buddha, the saying, "There is no fire like passion," reminds us that passion is the most powerful energy within the human heart. It can either burn us or illuminate our path, depending on how we use it. When directed toward noble goals, passion becomes the fuel that gives purpose to life. It transforms ordinary moments into meaningful experiences and gives us the courage to continue even in difficulty. Passion is what brings life to our dreams, devotion to our actions, and depth to our existence. Passion is not merely excitement or desire. It is the steady flame that drives a person to live with intention. Without passion, our actions often become mechanical and our goals lose meaning. Passion provides emotional energy, the kind that sustains us through obstacles and inspires perseverance. It connects deeply to purpose, for purpose is the destination and passion is the fire that carries us there. Buddha's insight shows that true passion is not about selfish craving, but about awakening an inner drive toward wisdom, compassion, and understanding. In every great achievement, whether spiritual or worldly, there lies a foundation of passion. A person who seeks enlightenment, justice, peace, or creativity must first feel a burning desire to reach beyond the ordinary. Passion motivates the monk to meditate at dawn, the artist to create beauty, and the seeker to question life's mysteries. It brings focus and energy that cannot be manufactured by discipline alone. When our hearts are filled with sincere passion, even simple actions gain sacred meaning. A passionate person lives fully in the present, giving their best to each moment. However, the Buddha also warned that passion must be guided by awareness. Without mindfulness, passion can turn into obsession or attachment. The difference between a candle that lights the room and a fire that destroys it lies in control. Mindful passion leads to clarity and peace, while blind passion leads to suffering. The wise person understands how to balance enthusiasm with wisdom, joy with restraint. This harmony allows passion to serve as a creative, uplifting force rather than a destructive one. When passion is aligned with purpose, it awakens the best within us. It gives rise to determination, creativity, and resilience. It helps us discover our unique path and contributes to the welfare of others. A life without passion often feels empty, but a life with pure passion becomes a journey of awakening. The Buddha's words remind us that passion is not something to be feared. It is to be understood, respected, and refined. When channeled toward truth and kindness, it becomes a sacred fire that lights the way to enlightenment. In essence, "There is no fire like passion" is an invitation to embrace life fully and consciously. It calls us to live with heart, to act with purpose, and to let our inner fire guide us toward growth. Passion, when rooted in mindfulness, gives meaning to every experience. It turns the mundane into the meaningful and transforms the ordinary person into a force of light. By nurturing the right kind of passion, one based on love, wisdom, and compassion, we find not only purpose but also peace. Just as fire can cook food or destroy it, passion can either harm or heal. The choice lies in awareness. When our inner fire burns for truth, we begin to live with true purpose, and that is the essence of the Buddha's timeless wisdom. Asterisk asterisk, uncontrolled passion burns asterisk asterisk. Buddha's teaching, "There is no fire like passion," reminds us that passion is a double-edged sword. It has the power to create, inspire, and illuminate, but when left uncontrolled, it can consume peace, clarity, and happiness. Just as fire can bring warmth and light when managed wisely, it can also cause destruction when allowed to rage freely. Uncontrolled passion is like a wildfire in the mind. It spreads quickly, feeding on desire, attachment, and emotion until it burns away inner balance. In everyday life, uncontrolled passion often appears as excessive craving, anger, or obsession. When a person becomes overly attached to a goal, possession, or relationship, they lose sight of peace and wisdom. The heart becomes restless, always wanting more, never satisfied. The Buddha warned that this endless cycle of desire is the root of suffering. When passion is not tempered by mindfulness, it blinds us to the truth of impermanence, that nothing lasts forever, and clinging only deepens pain. Uncontrolled passion can also distort judgment. A person driven by unbalanced passion may act impulsively, ignoring the consequences of their actions. This can lead to broken relationships, regret, or even self-destruction. The fire that once motivated can quickly turn into anger when expectations aren't met, or jealousy when others succeed. Buddha's wisdom teaches us that true happiness does not come from feeding passion, but from mastering it. Control does not mean suppression. It means awareness, seeing passion for what it is and guiding it with intelligence and compassion. There is a difference between passion born from love and passion born from attachment. The first uplifts, the second enslaves. When passion arises from ego, it seeks to possess and dominate. When it arises from understanding, it seeks to serve and uplift. Buddha's path encourages us to examine our motives. Is this passion bringing peace or disturbance? Is it born from kindness or selfish desire? The answers reveal whether our inner fire is healing or harming us. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools to control passion. By observing thoughts and emotions without judgment, we learn how to let them pass without being carried away. In stillness, the mind becomes like a calm lake where the reflection of truth can be seen clearly. Gradually, the fire of uncontrolled desire turns into the steady flame of awareness. This does not mean we lose enthusiasm or emotion. Instead, we gain mastery over them. Passion becomes a servant to our higher purpose, not a master of our mind. When passion is purified by mindfulness, it no longer burns destructively. It becomes the energy of compassion, creativity, and understanding. The Buddha's own life demonstrates this balance. His passion for truth was immense, yet it was guided by wisdom, not craving. That is why it led to enlightenment, not suffering. His example shows that when we learn to control the fire within, it becomes a force of illumination rather than destruction. Ultimately, the teaching, "Uncontrolled passion burns," is a gentle reminder to guard our inner world. Fire is not the enemy. It is a sacred force that demands respect. When we control our passions, we do not extinguish them, we transform them. We learn to burn brightly without burning out. In this balance lies freedom, the peace that comes when the fire of passion warms the heart instead of consuming it. Passion awakens creativity, when Buddha said, "There is no fire like passion." He revealed that passion, when used wisely, becomes a source of limitless creativity and transformation. Passion is the inner fire that awakens potential, inspires imagination, and fuels the desire to bring something meaningful into existence. It is the spark that turns thought into creation, dream into reality, and inspiration into action. Without passion, even great ideas remain lifeless. With it, the human spirit becomes capable of creating beauty, wisdom, and progress. Creativity is not limited to art, music, or invention. It is the expression of life itself. Every time we solve a problem, speak with kindness, or bring joy to others, we are creating. Passion gives energy to this process. It opens the mind, sharpens the senses, and fills the heart with enthusiasm. A passionate person sees possibilities where others see limits. They approach life not as a burden to endure, but as a canvas to paint. In this sense, passion and creativity are deeply connected. Both arise from the same source of inner vitality. However, the Buddha's teaching reminds us that true creativity is born from mindful passion, not from restless desire. Unchecked excitement can lead to chaos, but awareness transforms energy into artistry. When we act with mindfulness, our passion becomes a pure force that expresses our highest self. Whether one is meditating, writing, teaching, or simply living with sincerity, passion brings a depth of presence that makes each act creative and alive. The more we connect with the present moment, the more creative our actions become. Passion-driven creativity also leads to personal growth. When you engage in something you truly love, you naturally evolve. Challenges become lessons, failures become experiments, and persistence becomes joy. A passionate creator is not afraid of mistakes because they see every setback as part of the process. This attitude reflects the Buddha's wisdom. Growth and understanding arise from experience, not perfection. Creativity fueled by passion teaches resilience, humility, and openness, which are all essential qualities of spiritual awakening. Another beautiful aspect of passion and creativity is their power to inspire others. When one person follows their passion sincerely, it ignites similar energy in those around them. A compassionate teacher, an inspired artist, or a peaceful meditator all radiate an energy that uplifts others. The Buddha himself embodied this truth. His passion for understanding the nature of suffering and finding liberation inspired countless beings. His teachings were acts of the highest creativity, transforming ignorance into enlightenment, darkness into light. Yet, it's important to remember that passion must always serve truth. When creativity is driven by ego, it can lead to pride or illusion. But when guided by wisdom and compassion, it becomes sacred. The Buddha's way is to let passion flow through mindfulness, so that every creation becomes an offering, not an attachment. When passion and awareness unite, creativity becomes effortless, natural, and deeply fulfilling. It no longer seeks recognition or reward. It simply expresses the beauty of being alive. In the end, passion awakens creativity, is a call to live with inspiration and awareness. It invites us to use our energy not for destruction or self-indulgence, but for creation and growth. Passionate creativity is a reflection of life's own power to renew itself, moment by moment. When we allow our inner fire to burn with clarity and compassion, every thought, word, and action becomes a work of art. This is how passion, in its purest form, turns ordinary living into a continuous act of creation, a divine expression of the awakened mind. Transformation through awareness, Buddha's saying, there is no fire like passion, carries a profound truth. Passion is powerful, but without awareness, it can consume us. Awareness is what transforms passion from blind desire into a sacred force of growth. It acts as the guiding light that channels the raw energy of passion towards self-realization, creativity, and compassion. Awareness does not extinguish the fire within. It purifies it, turning it into the flame of understanding and wisdom. Passion, when uncontrolled, can easily become attachment or craving. A person may chase after pleasure, recognition, or success, mistaking these for true fulfillment. But Buddha taught that craving is the root of suffering. It binds the mind to endless longing. Awareness is the remedy. It helps us see passion not as something to be suppressed, but as energy to be understood and directed. When we become aware of our thoughts, desires, and emotions, we gain control over them instead of being controlled by them. Transformation begins the moment awareness enters passion. Imagine a raging fire. Awareness becomes the boundary that shapes it into a candle's flame, steady, calm, and full of light. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe the arising of passion, understand its cause, and guide its movement. This inner observation changes the nature of passion itself. It shifts from a force of restlessness to one of inspiration, from desire to devotion, from greed to gratitude. Awareness teaches us that passion is not the enemy, ignorance is. Awareness also reveals the true purpose behind our passions. Many people pursue goals without questioning why. Awareness brings clarity to intention. It asks, is this passion bringing peace or turmoil? Once this question is answered, transformation naturally follows. A person who acts with awareness begins to align their passion with wisdom and compassion. For instance, the same energy that once fueled anger can be redirected toward protecting justice. The same desire that sought recognition can be turned into service for others. Awareness gives direction to our fire. In meditation, awareness is cultivated like a muscle. As we sit in stillness, watching our breath and thoughts, we become witnesses to the movements of the mind. Over time, this witnessing transforms emotional energy. What was once a storm of passion becomes a calm current of vitality. Buddha's own enlightenment arose through such awareness. He transformed the fires of desire, ignorance, and fear into the radiance of awakening. This shows that awareness is not passive. It is an active force of transformation that reshapes every aspect of being. Through awareness, passion gains depth and purity. It no longer seeks to possess or control, but to express and uplift. A passionate mind guided by awareness becomes fearless yet humble, active yet peaceful. Such passion is no longer limited to personal desires. It becomes a universal energy that serves truth and love. Buddha's compassion for all beings was itself a product of this transformation. His passion for truth, refined by awareness, became a boundless source of healing for the world. Ultimately, transformation through awareness is the essence of spiritual evolution. Awareness turns passion into purpose, emotion into insight, and desire into devotion. It allows us to live passionately without losing our balance, to care deeply without clinging, and to act with intensity without aggression. This union of fire and mindfulness is the secret to inner harmony. When awareness governs passion, life becomes radiant with meaning. The fire that once threatened to burn now becomes the light that guides. In this balance lies liberation, the moment when passion no longer rules us, but serves the awakening of our soul. Passion as compassion, in the Buddha's wisdom, the phrase, "there is no fire like passion," reminds us that passion, when purified by love and understanding, transforms into compassion, the highest and most beautiful form of human energy. Compassion is not cold or distant, it is warm, vibrant, and alive, like a sacred fire that brings light to darkness and comfort to suffering hearts. True compassion is passion directed toward the well-being of others. It is the fire that does not burn, it heals. Ordinary passion often arises from personal desire. We become passionate about success, recognition, or pleasure. While this kind of passion can motivate us, it is still self-centered. But when awareness deepens, our passion expands beyond the self. We begin to feel deeply for others, their joys, pains, and struggles. This shift marks the birth of compassion. Buddha himself experienced this transformation. After his enlightenment, his passion was no longer for worldly achievement, but for liberating all beings from suffering. His heart burned with unconditional love, and that love became the driving force of his teachings. Passion as compassion is the most powerful energy in existence. It has the strength to move mountains, the courage to forgive, and the patience to endure. When we act with compassion, we are not acting out of obligation, but out of genuine care. This passion gives meaning to every act, no matter how small. A kind word, a gentle smile, or a helping hand, all become expressions of sacred energy. Compassionate passion brings peace to both the giver and the receiver. It connects us to the shared essence of life. The transformation of passion into compassion also dissolves the boundaries between self and others. We begin to see that all beings are interconnected. The pain of one affects the whole, and the joy of one uplifts all. This realization awakens the heart. When we feel this unity deeply, helping others no longer feels like a duty. It becomes a natural expression of love. The Buddha called this the great compassion, the fire of enlightenment that burns away separation and ignorance. It's important to note that compassion does not mean weakness. It requires great strength to remain kind in the face of anger, to forgive when hurt, and to give when empty. Compassionate passion is fierce yet gentle. It does not tolerate injustice, but it also does not respond with hate. It stands firm in truth, but moves softly with empathy. This balance is possible only when passion is guided by wisdom. Just as fire must be contained to bring warmth, compassion must be rooted in mindfulness to bring healing. When we cultivate passion as compassion, life becomes purposeful. We no longer chase temporary pleasures. Instead, we seek to serve, uplift, and bring peace. This shift changes the quality of our actions and relationships. We start to see the divine in everyone, even in those who have wronged us. Compassionate passion melts resentment and turns suffering into understanding. It becomes the heart's light that can never be extinguished, no matter how dark the world may seem. Ultimately, Buddha's teaching reminds us that the purest fire is the fire of compassion. It is the flame that enlightens without consuming, that burns for the good of all beings. When passion evolves into compassion, it becomes the ultimate form of love. active, selfless, and eternal. This is the path of the awakened heart, to let the fire within burn not for personal desire, but for the happiness and liberation of all. In that sacred transformation, we find the true essence of enlightenment. Asterisk, asterisk, inner fire of enlightenment, asterisk, asterisk, in the Buddha's profound saying, there is no fire like passion. The ultimate meaning points toward the inner fire of enlightenment, the divine flame of wisdom that burns away ignorance and awakens truth. This is not the fire of craving or desire, but the radiant energy of awareness, clarity, and liberation. When passion is purified through mindfulness and compassion, it transforms into spiritual power, the fire that illuminates the soul and guides one to nirvana. The journey toward enlightenment begins with the awakening of this inner fire. It is the deep longing to understand life, to go beyond surface pleasures, and to find lasting peace. Every seeker feels this sacred passion, a pull toward truth that cannot be silenced. This passion is different from worldly desires. It does not arise from wanting to possess, but from wanting to know. It is the yearning of the spirit to return to its natural state of freedom. The Buddha's own enlightenment began with such passion, a fire of inquiry that led him to leave his royal life and search for the end of suffering. The inner fire of enlightenment burns quietly yet steadily. It does not rage like worldly passion. Instead, it glows with calm determination. It gives strength during meditation, patience in discipline, and courage in self-discovery. This fire consumes the impurities of the mind, greed, hatred, and delusion, just as a flame consumes darkness. The more these illusions burn away, the brighter the light of truth becomes. In this way, the fire of enlightenment purifies rather than destroys. It transforms the seeker from within, turning ignorance into wisdom and restlessness into peace. This inner fire is not found outside. It is already within every being. It only needs to be uncovered through awareness. When we quiet the noise of desires and distractions, the flame of consciousness reveals itself. It shines in stillness, in compassion, in the present moment. The Buddha taught that enlightenment is not something gained, but something realized. It is the recognition of the eternal light that has always been burning inside. The true fire is not the fire of passion for material things, but the fire of understanding that melts away illusion. To sustain this inner fire, one must live with mindfulness and intention. Each act of kindness, patience, and honesty feeds the flame of awakening. Each moment of awareness adds clarity to the light within. Spiritual practice is like tending a sacred fire. It requires care, presence, and devotion. When the mind wanders into desire or anger, the flame dims. When the mind returns to truth and love, it brightens again. This is why Buddha emphasized balance, discipline, and compassion as essential parts of the path. The fire of enlightenment also inspires others. Just as one candle can light 1,000 more without losing its flame, an enlightened person's inner light spreads naturally. It ignites hope, peace, and awareness in those around them. Buddha's own enlightenment became such a source of light for humanity. His passion for truth turned into the eternal fire of wisdom that continues to guide seekers thousands of years later. Ultimately, there is no fire like passion, reveals that the truest passion is the quest for awakening. It is the inner flame that burns away the false and reveals the real. When the heart is consumed by this pure fire, life itself becomes an expression of enlightenment. The seeker and the truth become one. The world remains the same, but the vision changes. The fire no longer burns with desire, it shines with wisdom. In this sacred transformation, passion becomes light, and light becomes liberation.